Okay, with that said, I would like to welcome you all to another installment of Kavalden's Comic Review. I'm your host, Kavalden. Another light comic book tonight. With everything that's happened, it's another light comic book night. Only 3 books really caught my eye, real attentions. Sadly, the book I've been trying to review for a month now, still not been able to get a copy of it, which really, really sucks. I don't know how or why. It's really bad. I've been trying to review the Adventure Time comic, but let's see here. Let me get on with this. Tonight we are going to be taking a look at Venom, Circle of 4, issue number 14, the final issue of the Circle of 4 saga. Also be taking a look at Amazing Spider-Man 681, and to finish up, I thought I'd talk about Superman Action Comics number 7. Since I haven't talked about an action comic in a while, I thought about talk about this. And we'll talk about some other stuff too while we're at it. But let's move on to Venom right now, number 14. Surprisingly say it's the end of the saga, and despite the fact I've actually kind of enjoyed this story arc, there were a few bits I really didn't care for, that, like the 4 heroes basically making a deal with the devil. We've seen that. It's been done. I think it needs to stop. And it's really cool that, most of the whole book, everyone's been pretty much getting their ass handed to them. And, it really, how do I put this? They finally decided to work together, which is really good. And surprisingly enough, the characters all work out. And it works out really good for Thompson in the end because, people see that he is a hero. And, even at the end, despite the fact that everything that's recently happened to him after the Spider Island saga. One of the things is, I don't know what to call, I really don't know what to call the mesh of the Ghost Rider, the Venom symbiote, and the Red Hulk merged together. I really don't know what to call it. Do we call it Ghost Venom Hulk Rider, or, something like that? It's a pretty cool, thing. I mean, seeing Hulk riding a flaming motorcycle with Venom symbiote and a flaming skull. Considering that fire is one of the weaknesses of the Venom symbiote, I guess because it's mystical fire, I guess it doesn't count. It kind of works out in the end and stuff, and it looked out pretty good. I hope to see more story arcs with Venom, because I really do like this series, because I'm a real huge Venom fan. And we'll see how that goes. Moving on to Amazing Spider-Man 681. This is, to be honest, this was a pretty good story. I mean, it's Spider-Man in space, basically. But I did like the fact that Spider-Man and Johnny Storm teamed up again, seeing them back together since Johnny's return, or return from the dead, if you would like to call it, but I call it more of a return. And, seeing them fight off and, try to survive in space and everything, and the events that's happening. There's one thing about the book that kind of bugs me. There's a scene in the book where Spidey has to actually go outside the space station. And he's wearing a spacesuit. Now, the problem is he goes out there, he can't use his spider powers, he can't use his webbing. The thing is, he decides, in the book to, how do I put it? He goes out there in the spacesuit, decides, that he needs to go out there. And the only way to do this is for him to take the glove portion part off of his spacesuit and use his actual hands. Now, here's the thing I don't get. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, Cav, hold on. It's a comic book. A lot of stuff's not going to make sense. But especially for Spider-Man, who is a part scientist, I would actually think that even though he took the glove portion of the suit off, taped up his hands, taped up the cuff part of the suit around his hands so he can still move, and it was airtight, wouldn't the effect of the vacuum in space still affect his body in a way? I mean, I understand that the part that's taped up, airtight, would be sealed. But even his hand alone, wouldn't it would still need some sort of oxygen to breathe? I believe the pores in his skin would probably, you know, start closing up. His hand might start turning blue. I mean, sure enough, his spider power, I don't know. You know, that's just me. Plus, he had magnetic webbing. That doesn't bother me as much as it would. And, you know, that probably doesn't bother me as much as I would expect. You know, considering enough that he's using the webbing. He can magnetic webbing. I mean, let's face it. He works in a scientific lab now. He's pretty much got his own, like, little spider cave where he can make stuff and everything, which works out for him. I don't have a problem with that. But then, you know, him using spider webs through Earth's atmosphere and such, you know, to do all this stuff. And, you know, it's funny. Plus, like I said, the most of the story up after Spider Island were served. They've been nice little two-part stories. But basically, they've just been filler to the big climactic, you know, the climax that everyone's coming up. The new story arc in this Amazing Spider-Man, The End of the Earth, where Doc Ock, I guess, decides, hey, listen, I'm dying, so is everybody else. I will say this, the covers are really nice, from 682 to all the way to 686. The covers are really nice, and it looks like for most of the story, Spider-Man gets a new suit, again, and he looks like he'll be teaming up with the Black Widow and the Silver Sable for most of the story. You know, see how that goes. Okay. Superman, Action Comics number 7. I haven't talked about Superman in a while. It's probably the only one of the 52 books involving Superman that I actually still collect. I don't collect the actual main Superman story or the Superboy or Supergirl. I probably have maybe 1 or 2 issues of each, but Action Comics has been the only one I've actually still kept reading, actually. Even though technically there is a point in the story where I have been kind of confused about what's been going on, but lately now it looks like the book's back on track. I know there was a portion of the book where I guess Superman was discovering the ship, and I kind of got confused and lost track about the whole thing. But it looks like everything's back on track. And everything, you know, it looks like everything's back on track. I mean, surely enough, I mean, I get the fact Superman can't breathe in space for a long period of time, and I guess we finally get glimpses of Brainiac and such. And it's, you know, it's kind of nice that he's fighting, he's trying to save everyone, you know, who's been miniaturized. There is a scene where, you know, his costume is pretty messed up and everything, and he realizes that, you know, he realizes that part of his Kryptonian past is there. The thing is, he just starts ripping his clothes off, what's ever left of it, and then he puts a suit on, and it's a white sheet, and then all of a sudden it turns into the new Superman costume. You know, I don't think I've talked very much about the new Superman costume. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's a little similar to the original suit. And, yeah, you know, I guess basically it's similar to the old suit. It just has a little bit more detailed. Actually, it looks a little bit more like the design they used for that, what is it, that, the recent Superman movie that's coming out. So that's it on the comics. Maybe on a lighter note, I will talk about what happened to me on, was it Saturday? Because of registration. Comic-Con San Diego 2012 registration. My actual thoughts on that. I was going to do a video earlier on it, but everything I got a little sidetracked. My actual thoughts on this. You know, I actually didn't think it was bad. I really liked the new system. My only problem is, and a lot of people actually had the same problem, was the actual email that we were supposed to get for getting a member ID was, I never got an email. And a lot of people didn't get emails either. I kept checking my emails frequently because once I was checking the site, they said that they'd be sending out once the ID registration portion of it was over, they were going to send out emails on a release date for the thing, and it was taking a long time because I did my ID way back along, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting. But they said they'd be sending them out soon. I never got an email. The only way I found out about registration was I have a friend who actually goes to Comic-Con regularly. He got an email, and he posted it and told everyone that, registration would be happening on Saturday. So, Steven, I want to thank you for that. You really helped me out there. The actual thing, basically how it was, the way it was designed. And I have to say they actually stepped up their game on this. The way it was designed was you would be sent, you would get the email with an address to click on to go to the actual registration page and stuff. I went on through the main page of the Comic-Con website. You can still do it there too. When I went, I clicked on to get badges. It brought me to, I had to type in my ID, my information, and I was sent into a process line. Now, the way they did this was whatever number you got, and it would reset after about, say, a minute or two, which was good because you didn't have to do any resetting. All you had to do was just get on there and wait. I had a pretty good number. I was 15,000 and so on. To be honest, I only really had to wait maybe 45 minutes to an hour to actually get a badge. The thing was, and this was the bad thing, the 4-day badges and the 4-day badges with preview night went fast. And I usually go for 4 days because I stay for the full 4 days of the con. I always do. So they went very fast. I was actually a little surprised people were actually going to pay $175 for preview night. That depends if they're actually even going to preview night. They may not. They just probably did it to get the 4-day badge. The pricing wasn't a big problem for me as well. I understand why they did it because they were hoping that maybe, if they shot up the price a little on the badges for 4-day, that people would not, who usually go for 2 days, would not buy a 4-day badge and, be a waste of a 4-day badge if you're only staying for 2 days. So people actually did buy a 4-day badge. When I finally got on, I was only able to get single days, which wasn't a problem. The only problem was Saturday I was not able to get. So I only got for Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. I'm only hoping that Thursday and Friday, and I really hope that maybe Thursday and Friday will only be 2 days that I need for whatever. Because if Venture Day is on a Saturday, that's going to suck for me. And I really look forward to Venture Day. Getting everybody together for that, because that's where I made all my friends in San Diego, and I had a great time on that one. And I'm really hoping to go again this year. Surprisingly, I think the registration went well. Hopefully, maybe I can get a Saturday badge, because I got a funny feeling people will probably return a badge, and they'll have some loose badges, and maybe, who knows, I can get a badge. Believe it or not, only getting, single badges for Thursday, Friday, and Sunday really didn't cost me that much. It actually cost me the exact same price of actually getting the badges as I would have gotten last year, which was pretty okay. I didn't have a problem with that. I still think that New York has a better badge system because they seem to get I don't know how, they managed to get their badge system working right without a problem. And they email you the badge. No, actually, they mail you the badge itself. Plus the hassle of trying to get the badge in San Diego, going to the registration and everything. It can be a bit of a hassle. I hope I don't have that big of a problem when I go to get the badge. I really don't. I just really hope that I can get in on Saturday when really I don't have a badge. But shh, don't tell anybody. And I really do hope that a lot of my friends who went last year can go. Because I heard that a lot of people had problems with the emails, and a few people didn't really get a chance to get badges because I guess the site got bombarded, but they managed to keep it well organized to the fact that the site didn't crash, which was probably the blessing. For anybody, I'm going to say right this, for anybody who I know who go to San Diego Comic-Con and did not get a badge, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to offer out an invitation. I'm going to offer out an invitation to anybody in San Diego that I know who anybody who goes to San Diego Comic-Con who could not get a badge this year, come on down to New York. my place is always open. You guys need a place to crash for a couple of days, even though I'm in Jersey. We can hop and skip. We can drive back and forth. I don't have a problem with that. You know what? Or, you know what? I'll pitch in on hotels, too. You know, I'll show you guys around. New York Comic Con pretty much has a lot of the same stuff that San Diego has. Probably a little bit more. Plus, I think the Jacob Javits Center does a better job at organizing their panels. Because, like, I've gone for this a million times before. And I'm only saying, well, you know, why don't you just not go to San Diego? Well, you know, first of all, one, I go to San Diego for the fun. I also go to San Diego to see my friends. That's just how it is. I don't care what else is going on in the panel. Because you know enough this year, it's going to be all big Avenger stuff going on. Who knows? I can probably get my Ant-Man costume set up and ready to go. Because C2E2, I was hoping to go for that. Couldn't do that this year. And WonderCon's happening, I think, next week or this week, at the end of this week or next week. And I haven't been able to go to that one either, so I'm missing out on those two cons, which sucks, because I really wanted to go to WonderCon, but I couldn't. And I really wanted to go to C2E2 this year, because it was also not just go to C2E2 for the first time, but I was also hoping to go to Chicago for the first time. But sadly, I can't because of work. Plus, if I want to make it to do San Diego, I can't go to any more cons until San Diego. Well, any outside cons, basically. I have to stay in-state for a while. And I figure it's a while before any in-state cons that I can go to can go. But I'm probably dragging on. So, thank you for watching tonight. I hope what I've said really has helped in some matter. I also hope that everybody's enjoyed the show, and I hope to see everyone at this year's San Diego Comic-Con. Hope to see you there, have fun like we did last time, and I'll see you guys next week, alright? Bye.